the show. I'm Cath Vincent, and today we have a fabulous lineup of guests to energise and inspire you.
It's time to wake up your wow with your host, international award-winning speaker, Cath Vincent.
In the house tonight, dream analyst Delwyn Armstrong talks about the lost power of interpreting your dreams. TV adventurer Kevin Biggar shares his struggle on his mission to the South Pole. And if you fancy a personal challenge, Oxfam's Gwen will be inviting you to step up and walk 100 kilometres. And in the Wilde Records music slot, Jessie Wilde introduces singer-songwriter Sam R.B., famous for her inspirational Olympic theme from London 2012. All this and more to help you wake up your wow. Delwyn, thanks so much for coming in.
Oh, thank you so much. It's great to be here.
So tell me, dream analysis, do our dreams really mean anything?
They absolutely do. Our dreams are full of meaning and ways of being innovative, creative, providing solutions for us for everyday life. And a lot of business people are using their dreams.
So it's not the kind of woo-woo or, you know, what do my crazy dreams mean, but there's actually some practical benefit.
Oh, totally. People have been using dreams since just about the beginning of the time. Dreams have always been there for us, but it's just taken us a long time to get around to using them and understanding the messages that they're providing us with.
So is it true that certain things mean, you know, something specific? Like, you know, if somebody dies, does it mean something?
Well, there's a lot of myths going around about dreams, and if you do die in a dream, it doesn't mean literally that you are going to die. I know, such
I wanted
relief.
to talk to you about that. Phew.
Such relief. But there's these dreams that appear very wacky, and they're not at all. So people come to us and say, I had this wackiest dream, like teeth falling out. Well, that is giving you a message that you need more understanding on something that you're going through. Right. So who would have thought about that with teeth falling out dreams?
So is there a kind of dictionary of what things mean, or is it more specific than that?
Well, there are sort of some standard meanings, but your dreams are really personal to you. So you're having in your dreams personal symbolism. And let me give you an expression of that. So say if you had in your dream a dog arrive, well, a dog to you could mean your best friend. But if you'd had a really traumatic experience as a 6-year-old being bitten by a dog in your dream may not mean it's your best friend. So yeah, your symbolism's unique to you. So
but people use their dreams to inform inventions and all sorts of inspirational things.
Yeah, absolutely. There's this wonderful story that there was a man called Elias Howe that was inventing a machine, and he was stuck at a very pivotal stage of inventing his machine. And so he had a dream one night, and I'll tell you about this dream because it could be so scary to have this dream. And he had been kidnapped by natives, and he was horrific. And these natives were going round and round him with spears, thrusting these spears at him. And then just before he woke up, he saw at the tip of these spears there was a little hole. And when he woke up from his dream, he realised he had just been given a way forward with his invention, because he was inventing the sewing machine.
Oh my gosh.
And he was totally stuck on designing the needle. He had it going in the wrong direction. This dream enabled him to put the hole in the right spot on the needle.
To thread the sewing machine.
And so he actually went on and designed the first sewing machine.
So
here we all have a sewing machine in our house today, having no idea that a dream gave him a way forward with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what about people who say, well, look, I don't dream?
Well, you do actually. You can actually dream up to 6 times per night, but it's about remembering them. And that's the important thing, that we need to all start remembering our dreams so we can just get those solutions for our lives.
Yeah, because sometimes you wake up and you go, oh, I had a dream, and it almost floats away, doesn't it?
Yeah, it goes within seconds normally. We really encourage people to write down the dream, even if you've woken up at 3 in the morning, 7 in the morning, whatever time, quickly write down some of the details so that you can capture it and remember it.
Right. So then let's say you make a note, okay, I dreamt about my dog, or, you know, or spears or whatever it is, and then how can you make that information useful to you?
Well, it's about learning the art of dream interpretation, and that's what we have learned, so it makes it easier in that way. But yeah, there's just ways of learning dream interpretation and learning about your own personal symbolism and what that means to you. So, you know, if you had an ex-boyfriend or ex-partner arrive in your dream,
got none of that.
you know, it won't mean at all about an ex is coming back into your life. But you know, so you have to understand that.
So what does it mean? For example, let's say that you dreamt that you had an affair with Bobby Ewing from Dallas. What does that mean?
Is this your drink?
Actually, what does it mean though?
Okay, be at peace because you're not going to go off and have an affair. It's not meaning that.
But I'm not going to Dallas.
Yeah, no. But it's about what does Bobby Ewing mean to you, and you have to look at his character and his personality. And then that will be giving you a direct message. Maybe there's something about his life that is being highlighted to you that could be a strength in your life that you need to embrace more, and yeah, you just go from there.
Interesting. So it really is, I think the key distinction you're making is it's not the thing that you dream about, it's about what that thing means to you.
Yes, yeah, totally. And dreams are so innovative and creative, and I actually think of them as being your own personal coach or personal trainer that are helping you through your journey in life. You might be looking to grow your business, and your dream can be totally giving you a solution on a way here to do that.
And so do you have a practice of trying to dream? Do you do anything to make yourself become more inspirational while you sleep?
Yes, absolutely. Like I will go to bed at night, and this seems really simple, but I'll go to bed at night and I want to have a dream. And it can be that simple. Yeah. Amazing, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And then I can wake in the morning with the solution that I've needed through a dream.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, that's a great tip. So go to sleep asking yourself the question that you want to solve while you're snoozing.
Totally. And don't forget to write it down.
Right. And what other practical tips have you got?
Well, we always encourage everyone just to place a value on dreaming. Yeah. We've thought too long about all these myths, and so we sort of bust all these myths. And so place a value on your dreams. That dreams do not come from eating too much chocolate or cheese at night, as so many of us
I eat a lot of chocolate,
yeah. So first off, place a value on your dreams, then write them down, and then just start actually trying to understand what that personal message is to you.
So what are the common myths about the kinds of dreams people have and what they think they might mean?
Sure. There's a really common myth about that when you're falling in a dream, if you allow yourself not to wake up and you hit the ground, you're going to die.
Yeah. Where does that come from? We all know that one.
Well, if you don't allow yourself to wake up, just keep falling. When you hit the ground, you often will then maybe find yourself swimming deep in the ocean. You could end up flying, and it does mean that you are quite an overcomer. And yeah, so wherever you're at, you can be overcoming in that situation.
Oh, cool. I fly a lot. Actually.
Wow.
Is that good? Hence the birds all around it.
That's such fun dreams to have, Cath. I'm jealous.
Sometimes I wake up and go, oh.
Yeah. Well, it can mean things like, say, in your business that you're destined to go to a higher level, so don't settle for where you're at.
Fantastic. So the bottom line is really that your dreams are trying to help you.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. And thanks for helping us, Delwyn.
Thanks so much, Cath.
Kevin, I'm so excited that you're here.
Thanks very much. It's nice to be here.
So listen, you are best known for the adventure documentary Intrepid New Zealand. Tell me a bit about that.
Well, it's a story. It's a series of stories where we recreate pioneering adventures, so adventures of 100 years ago.
Yeah, and you do it with no technology of today. It's
no, exactly. So we get dressed up in the old waistcoats and the old boots and the old ropes and things like that, and try and do what they did and tell the story of doing that.
Yeah. And actually, I mean, is there kind of stuff behind the scenes kind of keeping you safe, or are you doing it the hard way?
There is something there.
Yeah.
Like I try and tell my wife this, that yes, there is a rope, you just can't see it. Quite often there is, and not all the time. Actually, surprisingly, the most dangerous things are actually not the stuff that you see on the show. It's because we're out in the back of the woods doing these sorts of things, and when we move from place to place, things seem to go wrong. We've lost a couple of people off the set. Luckily it hasn't happened on the show. No, not died, no.
Oh, right.
They've injured themselves. I was
like, wow, that is more dangerous than even I imagined.
No,
so does your wife kiss you goodbye and go, oh, honey,
She
I
does
love
a little
you so
bit.
much.
And when we sit and watch the show, even though she knows it went well, because I'm right there, she just sits there with her arms crossed and looks very stonily.
I tell you what, that is the way to appreciate your partner, isn't it? Send them off to do something really dangerous and you will really appreciate having them in your life.
That's right. You should try that.
Yeah, I might. So listen, tell me about the South Pole expedition. That sounds just incredibly dangerous.
Yes, it was, I guess, but you know it's going to be that way.
So what was the extent of the adventure for the South Pole? Like, you know, how long did it take? How cold was it?
Well, for all of these adventures, the transatlantic race and the South Pole trek, it's about 90% is getting to the start line. So by far the hardest part is all the preparation you do, because you don't want to start and it to be a completely new experience for you, you know. So you've got to get used to the cold.
Yes.
You've got to get used to towing the weight around. So we towed a lot of car
That's the weight
tires.
of the sled.
The weight of the sled,
Yeah.
yes, the weight of the sled. Because we're doing it unsupported and unresupplied. So you start off all the food and fuel you need in your sled. So there's no horses or dogs or tractors, they're going to pull it.
Right.
And you have to pull it the 1,200 k's and the 10,000 feet into the pole.
100 k's. And so how long did that take? How many days were you away?
Took 52 days to do the trek, and you're away a bit longer because of the start and the end.
Right.
Yeah.
And what was the worst thing that happened?
The worst thing, you know, wasn't an incident that something went wrong. It was the general feeling that you're slowly getting closer and closer to death when you're down there. Because you, and it sounds funny, but it's true, because you can't take all the food you need for the trip. You just physically just can't carry it all in your sled. If you took all the food in the sled, it would take you more days to get to the end than what you planned for, so you end up having to take more food, and so you don't.
So you only have enough food for? You
have less food than you need. So you're there for 52 days, you probably take 40 days worth of food.
Yeah, I'm going off this. I was thinking, count me in, you know.
You're actually in great shape for it. I'm a bit too big, so I pay for that. And so the hardest thing was that as you get near the end of the trek, about from halfway on, you start doing the big climbs up to the high plateau. Then you lose, you've lost a lot of, not only your fat, but you've lost a lot of muscle as well. Right. So you're getting thinner and thinner each day. I could put my knees together and look through my legs. I haven't been able to do that for a long time. And you can feel that you're losing your strength, and the cold starts to get incredibly intense the closer you get to the South Pole. And your hands are getting warm, and then they're freezing and warming again, so that all that thawing and rethawing, the nerves start to die back, and so that your hands are like little wooden pegs, and the mask is freezing to your skin. And you wake up in the morning and your lips are frozen shut, and you're going, So there's no one worse thing, but all of them add up to...
yeah. So over time, probably the drag, does it just get worse and worse?
Yeah, this weighs on your head. Because you know you've got to stick to the schedule that you've set yourself, and it takes all your time and effort to get there.
And what thoughts go through your head? How do you actually make yourself keep going?
Well, it's not like you've got Sky. You don't really have any other choice. If you're in the tent, you know, that's the hardest thing. It's harder now to get up and go to the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning, because I can stay in a nice warm bed. And you're in the South Pole. The only way in Antarctica, the only way to get to the South Pole is to get up out of your bed. So it's actually, in that sense, it's a bit easier as well. And having a friend there as well on the other side, because you know he can't get there unless you get there. So it's not really an option not to go.
It's quite an interesting point that you make, that actually perhaps some of the things stopping all of us from doing the things that we want is the kind of comfort and a bit of laziness.
It's the other options. We've got so many more fun things that we could do to try to defer the gratification that we want. And yet that's exactly what it takes. The trick is, I mean, if I did learn one thing, and I had a lot of time to think down there about what I've learned, I thought when I get home, I'm going to try and make these choices simpler for myself. So I'm going to, if I'm going to try and lose weight, I'm not going to have the fast food in the fridge or even in the house, because then I don't have to choose again. It's what's in, if you can cut away all the extra things that make those choices hard, then doing the right thing becomes a lot more simple.
Yeah. Well, actually, if you want to lose weight, just go back to the South Pole. That's the other way to do it.
That's true.
You could start boot camps or something, take people to the South Pole for weight loss.
When you see the before and after pictures, it's extraordinary. Like I weighed 110 kilos at the start. I beat myself up because I knew I was going to go through it. And I lost 23 kgs in the 50 days. So it's a pound a day.
Wow.
Imagine a pound of butter and losing it.
I can't imagine that, actually.
You couldn't last a bit, but you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I'd last about a week, and I go, I'm over it.
Do you know the fastest person to the pole? When we were down there, there was this English woman who was trying to attempt to be the fastest unsupported to the South Pole, and she was hoping to claim the record of the last fastest person, which was also another English woman.
Yeah. Wow, what is it about the English?
And she also was, and she had claimed it of this other woman. So in fact, the fastest people to the pole were all females.
So all women, the fastest people.
The fastest to the pole, up until very recently.
Wow.
Were all women.
Well, you know, what can I tell you? We know how to dig in, you know.
Yeah. See, that's Captain Scott's mistake. He took Blake's.
Ah, yes, of course. I heard you say that you used to be a couch potato, and
yes,
I find that hard to imagine.
Well, the TV show came from doing the South Pole trek in the Atlantic race, and the Atlantic race came from having a bit of a midlife or a quarter-life crisis when I was 33 years old. Yeah. And there's lots of guys out there, I'm sure you've experienced this, where you think you're going to live until you're 100, all through your 20s. You just get stronger and better, and then you turn 30 and you've seen it coming for a long time, it's no big deal, and then you get to 33 and suddenly you're in your mid-30s. Yeah. And then before that it'll be 40. And there was this real crisis caused in me that I thought that this is, for the first time, a year, it always seemed like a long time. Yeah. And then for now I could see 40 years in front. And I'd be doing exactly what I was doing now in 40 years' time unless I changed it. Yes. And which would be fine if I was doing what I wanted to do, but I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. I was working in a corporate, which was great, and paying some bills, which was fantastic. But I wasn't doing what I wanted to do when I was like 12 and didn't quite know the way the world worked. But I was really excited about things. I wasn't excited about what I was doing. I wanted to be an astronaut or in Indiana Jones or a fireman or something back then. And so I decided that I had to make some tough choices about what I was doing. So I quit my job, left my house, sold my house, left my girlfriend, and went back home and lived with my mum for a bit. And that's when I sat on the couch for some time trying to work out what to do. And it was while I was doing that I saw a news clip about a person to complete, the last person to complete the transatlantic rowing race for that year. And I thought to myself, I bet that's not as hard as it looks.
So, you know, in all your adventures, what do you think is the key thing that you've learned?
Well, for me, if I ever have an idea to do something like this, the most important thing is to meet someone who's done it, similar. Because you meet them, they see the flesh and blood. And if they're a real person and they can do it, I'm a person, I can do it too.
Fantastic. And that goes for all of us, doesn't it? Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Cath.
Gwen, welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Well, listen, not everybody in the world probably wants to trek to the South Pole, but you can have your own personal adventure. Tell me a bit about Oxfam Trail Walker.
Oxfam Trail Walker is amazing. It's one of Oxfam's events, and I don't know if you know about Oxfam at all. Oxfam, a development organisation, we work with people mainly in the Pacific, and we give them the opportunity to really develop their own lives for long-standing good. So we go in, we support people with education, with work, with training, to give long-term growth and to actually get them to help themselves out of poverty. Yeah. And so what Oxfam Trail Walker is, it's our flagship event. And it's just hugely motivational. Essentially, we're asking teams of 4 people to walk 100 kilometres in less than 36 hours.
Wow. Now, let's just be really clear, because I made this mistake when I first heard about it. When you say teams of 4 people walking 100 kilometres, you mean walking 100 kilometres each?
Yes.
Right.
It is not a relay. It's not a relay. It's a real team event. And what's amazing about it, it's about fundraising for Oxfam's work. So there's one thing. We ask teams to raise $2,000, which is actually the easy part. Yeah. You know, but then we get them to walk 100 kilometres, and it's really important because it's about being a team, it's about motivating each other, it's supporting each other, it's about getting from A to Z without too much swearing, shouting or hating each other afterwards. But the feedback that we get from the teams, it's the most amazing thing they've done. They recommend that other people take part, and yeah, we get such amazing feedback. People love the whole experience.
It's a privilege to be able to be part of something that really makes a difference to people. It's really about what the community work that Oxfam does. So we raise a few bucks, we set ourselves a personal challenge, we get all our friends to help us, and it's awesome.
One of the most inspirational donations that we got was an 11-year-old boy donated his entire piggy bank, so $20, because he said because it helps get food and water for other people, and at the very basic point, that's why we're doing it, is to help support.
And how many people actually enter?
Okay, so this year we're looking for 300 teams of 4 people.
Wow, so a huge event.
Huge
Absolutely
event.
Huge, yeah. And where is the route? Where's the 100 kilometres?
It's down in Topor, and it is absolutely stunning. We start on one side of the lake, we walk through, we walk up over hills, we have amazing vistas right across to the mountains. And because people are going 36 hours, actually they're not. On average, most people finish in around about 25 hours.
Right. So they're still going round the clock and losing a night's sleep?
Yeah. They are, yes. Yeah. That's the biggest
You've
thing, I think, is
that.
the sleep. But they get to see this amazing scenery at dawn, at dusk, midday. They get to walk through the night and enjoy the solitude of walking through the night and the challenge of walking through the night. And we have volunteers that actually support each team as well. So each team has its own support crew, who at each checkpoint they will cook meals for them, they'll help them get changed in their clothing, sort out blisters, that kind of thing.
And there's quite a carnival atmosphere.
Yeah, fancy dress, people doing just crazy things, and that's both the teams and the support crew. We have music going, we have lots of atmospheric stuff going on throughout the event, so that it's really motivational for the participants, but also for people who are the support crews and for the volunteers, and as a big thank you, we make it as exciting as possible for everyone taking part.
So what sorts of people are participating?
Everyone of every shape and size.
Okay,
everyone can do it. Everyone. And you know, we have this amazing team of ladies that take part. They're called the City Girls, and they first took part 10 years ago, because this is the 10th anniversary of Oxfam Trail Walk this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So they decided to take part 10 years ago to celebrate 2 of them turning 60.
Wow.
They have now taken part in every single Oxfam Trail Walker ever since, and are about to do the 10th anniversary event, and of course to celebrate 2 of them turning 70. You know, the average age of the team is 66. Yeah, and we've had people, you have to be 18 years old to take part, but we've had an 18-year-old who literally, it was the day after his birthday.
Wow.
So yeah, we can have everyone of all shapes and sizes. It's just a case of having the real mental attitude to be positive about doing it and putting in the training. I'm actually taking part myself this year. I've been so motivated over the past couple of years.
Cool. Of course, because you know, you're wearing a few hats there. You're in it, you're organising it, you're doing it, you know. How are you juggling all of that?
You know, I think you just have to. You have to be organised. It was quite interesting. Earlier they were talking about having dreams of teeth falling out. That is my most reoccurring dream. Ooh. So I think, you know, I need to get into the habit of actually really knowing what's going on. Yeah. But I make lots of lists. I have an amazing, amazing team of people. It's not just me. Yeah. You know, I have an amazing team of people who help organise this. I say we have 300 volunteers who make the event.
So how do we get involved?
Really, really easy. So go to the Oxfam website, oxfam.org.nz, click on the button for Oxfam Trail Walker, and we're looking for 300 teams of 4 people, and the event takes place on the 28th and the 29th of March 2015. Fundraising commitment of $2,000, which is really achievable, and we provide lots and lots of support both in terms of fundraising and training and information on our work in the Pacific.
So it's open to everyone from 18 to 80, 90, 110?
110 would be good.
And of course you're taking part yourself, so we wish you every success and we'll be watching your progress.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Desse, welcome back with us again.
Great to be back.
Tell me, who's in the studio today?
Today we have a wonderful singer-songwriter named Sam R.B.
And how do you know Sam?
Well, I met Sam through a mutual friend of ours, Stephen Small, who composed the TV show theme.
He did. If you love the theme, that was Stephen Small.
Yeah, we share the same piano player. He plays on my records and he plays on her records as well. And I also helped her at the event which we did for the opening of the show.
I know, I've already had a sneak preview. Sam's fabulous, so let's hear from her right now.
Thank you.
Through sweat, blood and tears, you followed your dreams to where you now stand, on top of the world. You make us so proud. Your journey so far, taking you to 'cause you stand tall, you stand strong, you stand above, and you stand beyond. You carry our dream, carry our hope, nation proud. We wish you well. And when times get tough, as they're sure to do, remember where you come from, or listen, you'll hear us cheering for you, 'cause you stand tall, you stand strong, you stand above, and you stand beyond. You carry our dreams, carry our hope, nation proud. We wish you well. We stand tall, we stand strong, we stand above, we stand beyond. We carry our dreams, carry our hope, nation proud. We wish you well. We wish you well.
Oh, I love that song. It just makes me want to cry happy tears.
That's right. It's a very inspirational song from the heart.
And Sam's here joining us. She's run round. That was gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you. So, Sam, that song became the Olympic 2012 London song. How did you come to write that?
It was the Plate Strange Olympic songwriting competition.
Right.
I saw a post on Facebook and I thought, I wonder if I could do that.
Wow. And how long did it take you to write?
It was really fast. It was like 15 or 20 minutes and it was out, which is quite odd for me.
Yeah. I guess some of the cool stuff happens quick if you're doing the right things.
I guess so.
Yeah, some of the best songs come to me the quickest. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
And listen, it's not so long ago that you weren't performing, you weren't out, you weren't generating lots of music. Tell us a bit about that.
I was really lucky to be in the mental health system for about 10 years. Received a lot of wonderful support and guidance. And over that period of time, learnt how to live, really, which allowed me to then start performing.
How did you become the person that you are now? I mean, it's amazing.
I think a combination of, like I said, wonderful support and a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
I had to learn a lot of skills to experience the world differently to how I was.
Yeah. But literally, you have sold thousands of albums through busking.
Yeah, well, I started busking to pay off the post-production costs of the first album.
Yeah.
And it was going well, so I continued, and that's how I've been able to record my next two.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. So you've got a brand new one coming out now?
October 25.
Excellent. And how can people get a hold of that album?
The album launches in Browns Bay on the Bandstand on the 25th of October. People can go straight to my website, samrb.com, and get any of my music from there.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
Well, I think the song is an inspiration.
Thank you.
are an inspiration. Thank you. My thanks to all my special guests this week, to Delwyn, to Kevin, to Gwen, to Jessie Wilde and to Sam RB. And until next week, don't wait to wake up your wow.